Hey guys, is Shoot Upable Places real? And Maxine is here to talk to us. Amber Stevens-West, stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police.
I haven't heard it in
That's the
years.
sound.
Right?
It's been a while.
Hey guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today because it is a special day. We have Amber Stevens-West. Maxine is in the studio with us today. And how are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Lovely. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, welcome. So great to have you. I'm Mariel Turner. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mariel_Turner.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Shannon Clark. You can find me on all things social media at I am Shannon Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Love Shea Butter on Snapchat because I have to.
Am I supposed to do this too?
Oh yeah, and you're gonna.
What up?
Well, we know who you are.
I'm Amber Stevens-West. You can find me on Twitter at Amberoni Stevens and on Instagram at Amberoni Stevens-West. My name's way too long now, but that is what it is.
I love it, Amberoni. It sounds like a pepperoni, and then you just put it
Yeah. It's just a nickname that actually my manager started calling me like 10 years ago, and then it was adopted by so many other friends, and
catchy.
now it's kind of just Roni. But
Roni, so no Amber.
just not even Amber.
No
I mean,
Amber.
just by a select few people who decided to call me this. It's not everybody or anything. Don't worry. But yeah, Amberoni.
Well, we're gonna talk about Shoot Upable because that's what today's episode. But we will also later in the evening talk about lesbian wedding because it was such an important part of Maxine, and we have to talk about it.
I think that we should.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna talk about a shootable place. So Gerard described a shootable place as a place that makes you feel nervous.
Yeah.
Do you guys have one of those places?
All the time. I mean, cliche, but the episode, malls, movie theaters, hood parties. They're all shoot upable.
I don't know if I have a shoot-upable place per se, but I just try to be, just be aware, keep an eye out
Is that
wherever I
in
go.
the back of your mind? Anytime?
Not really. I'm a hood party. That's about it. Yeah. Yeah. I try to. I don't really go into it thinking okay, something bad might happen. I kind of just okay, if it does, I'll be prepared. But I don't really go into it thinking that.
Right.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I guess it just always crosses my mind if I'm in large crowds. And it's a very quick, what if this happened here?
That's
It's
it.
not, and where's the closest exit? But it's not I'm not going to go somewhere because I'm scared. But it's little place, if you go to the airport, if you go to a theme park.
I agree. Parades.
Yeah, parade.
Oh, parades
It crosses your mind
especially.
for a quick second,
For
what
sure.
if chaos happened? Where do I go?
Where are the
How do I
exits?
not get trampled?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Definitely.
interesting because I think
Yeah.
the climate in America now, it almost forces us to come up with those plans. And you bring up a really good point, Amber, about exits and sitting with your back not towards the door and just being super alert and heightened security. It's sad, but it's unfortunately a way of our life now. And it is good to just be prepared and just have that.
Yeah, don't be naive.
Yeah.
Naive get you
Just
dead.
be cautious. It's
For
okay.
sure.
I really believe naive get you dead. I'm sorry. I'm kind of with Gerard. Not that I won't go to a movie on a Friday at 8 o'clock, but I personally just like going in the morning. Nobody's there. I get to have the movie to myself. I ain't got to worry about nobody. I get to laugh and talk as much as I want.
That's the opposite of me. I do not want to sit in a movie theater alone. That makes me feel weird.
Why?
Yeah.
I feel
go to the
part
movies
of
by
the
yourself.
movie experience is seeing
love
it
it.
with the crowd and having the mutual
Laughter.
experience and the laughter or the shock or whatever, you're
I could do both.
Yeah,
You really?
I do both.
Because I love, my new thing now is iPick. I don't know if it's I moved to LA and I became Bad and Bougie or something. So, I don't really want to go to a movie theater if it's not iPick. I got my pillow, my reclined seat and stuff, and it's
Oh,
super
gosh.
intimate and quiet.
Yeah.
I enjoy that now. But then on a big release, I can go to a larger movie theater and enjoy it with everyone else.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think on a big release, you almost have to, because it's not the same experience if you're by your, like, when I went to see Get Out, it was
Oh my
like,
God. I was thinking the same thing. You have to see Get Out with a group of people.
A group of people.
Oh, God.
It
That was my
amazing.
most fun movie-going experience of my whole life.
Really?
I loved seeing it with everybody because there's just like this shock that everyone felt together, and you're laughing at the weirdest moments together. And
That
oh my
movie
God,
was
I haven't had that much fun in a movie theater ever.
Did you talk to Rel at all about his filming with that? Or
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he got the part while we were still filming last season, and he was really excited about it. He didn't tell us too much. It was very like it's a horror movie, and Jordan Peele's doing it, and he was excited about it. He had to go back and forth from shooting 2 different things, and he just kind of said that it was a really fun experience, but he had no idea, really what would happen with it. But the alternate ending that they shot and what they ended up using is like now has made it the most perfect film.
Yeah.
It is an amazing film.
Isn't
It
it
was
just
great.
mind-blowingly amazing?
It
And
is.
Rel is so wonderful
He's
in it,
good
and
in
he
it.
deserves
Amazing.
everything that's coming his way. Because everyone's calling Lil Ron Howery now. I mean, he is on everyone's like top 10
on
list.
fire. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Real coming to the studio. I reached out to
You
your
will.
people.
We need you,
I'll
buddy.
let him know. I'll let him know.
I am like the lone person because I ain't seen it, so sorry.
Oh,
You're,
no.
you're missing out
It's
on a
for two
really fun
reasons.
experience.
I'm scary. I have a self-preservation. That means not going to see it.
What?
I don't like being scared. Like that's.
It's not like that.
It's a
not
dream
like
Everybody
that.
says that, and I'm just like,
It's not a
not
movie
scary.
that scares you.
I
It
think
makes
it's
you
more
think.
of a yes. It's like a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like drama suspense.
Yeah, you're
type.
not gonna jump in your
No.
seat and scream or anything. It's not that kind of scary. Because I don't do that either. I like
Yeah.
that's not fun for me.
It's not
it's
like
not
Saw.
fun at all.
No, this is like a commentary. It's funny and it's like messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
It's got all the things that you're looking for in a
So
good
Carmichael Show, you gonna see it with me then? Because let's do it as a group. Because I can't do it by myself.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
telling you
go.
now,
I'm
right
I'm
now.
down to see it again. I can see that movie over
I've already
and
seen
over.
it twice, so I
Yeah,
can definitely
I would.
see it.
I'd
yeah.
like to see it again. Let's go.
Let's do
Is
it.
that what you want to do for your birthday?
I would
Is it still at theaters?
Like, it might actually be somewhere, like at the Dollar Theater.
It might be.
It has to be.
Yeah, it probably is.
So Maxine starts singing. She's singing. She's like into it. I love it because it's so fun. You're just like, you don't know what's really going on. He's like, oh, just so casually. That was a
I
shooting
know.
at the mall. Like, just like you casually say that. Now, obviously, you understand like he's working on his own process.
Right.
But just like, okay. And then Bobby shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parents show up. Then Nikisha shows up. And here's everybody's opinions
Right.
on you about what happened and how, they feel versus how you were really feeling at that time.
Right.
I have a question. Who is the shooting more hard for? Those who actually survive it or the grieving family?
Ooh, I think those are two
Oh.
separately incredibly large emotions. I just obviously you have the family of the deceased. They have to live with that forever. Those victims are not any longer with us, but think of a surviving person and how they relive that over and over and over again. And for Gerard, I just feel like he just didn't have enough time to process what had happened to him because he was still very numb to it. And I don't think it was until the cop came over and he was giving the interview that he really like sat down and he felt the weight of it. You know what I mean? And that's normal because I think it's like a grieving process, right? You know what I mean? Like, but I can't answer that. I think it's equally as hard for the family because they have to live with it, as it is for the surviving person. You know what I mean? It's just weighty.
Yeah, I think the episode really showed how complex that subject is, and how it can affect both the family and the person that was there, and how it does take a while to process that. And yeah, I really don't feel like I can really say who exactly it's harder for, but I do think this episode definitely showed that it's really complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. I don't know that anyone could actually really answer that unless they had both things happen in their own life. Like they simultaneously lost somebody to that particular thing
Right.
and also they were there. Like the woman who was standing over the guy
Yeah.
who was shot in the pretzel line. That person could probably tell you what's harder.
It was just because I thought of it while Joe was talking about, do you know what happens to a grieving parent? Like we'd have to do signs, get
yeah.
Gerard law passed, and it almost like like shifted, like in the scene, like it's not really about you anymore. It's about us and like
Yeah.
what we would have to go through. So that's where that thought came from me and
Yeah.
why I wrote it down.
There was there was layers in this episode in that. I have a question actually because I was intrigued by Nikisha's reaction to it because I feel like I gotta enter it Nikisha like we all do.
I really
And you know, like
yes.
being from the inner city is like, you know, she's like, oh, you got your cherry popped, or you know what I mean, like you're shooting cherry popped. Like, are we desensitized to crime? You know, like if you know, depending on our background and the culture, like where we come from, you know, people really have that reaction to shootings. It's like, oh, you know, you hear it all the time. Oh, somebody got shot. It's unfortunate, but it can get easy to be just numb to it. Like, oh, you know, it was a shooting yesterday. You know what I mean? Whereas if someone who hasn't experienced that before is like, that's the biggest thing for them in their lives. And it's kind of like now it's like, ooh, like somebody got shot. You know what I mean? Like Nikisha's outlook on it. For me, it was interesting. Like, yikes, you know, is that me? You know?
That's me.
That's me.
That's me.
That
Only
is
because
me.
I've been through it and
Right.
I've
That's so
seen
real.
it. And seriously, one time it was like some shootings, like just across the street or something. I was like, oh, I turned back over and went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, and
It's
that was
sad.
just like, it's not on my street. My mom's safe. She in a bed. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
true.
That was my priorities. It was like my mom, me, we good.
That's true. That's why we have that opinion in the show. We try to show everyone's different experiences with something, and Nikisha is clearly the character who has seen it all.
Yeah.
And that's why she's desensitized to it, and she doesn't really think much of it. Yeah, it's a big deal, but we move on just like she has however many times she's, you know, had to encounter that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Amber. Was it difficult for you to film, you know, about a subject that is kind of super serious?
Well, we treat every episode, especially something like this, with a lot of care, and we go into it making sure that we are very respectful of the subject matter and honest, and not trying to provoke people's emotions, which is, unfortunately, I don't know why NBC didn't see it that way, but I feel that we should have aired this last 2 weeks ago when it was originally scheduled, because we handle it very maturely. And I feel like this episode I think we did a really good job of just talking about how somebody grieves in these moments and how they handle it, and how we as a nation should be able to have these conversations maturely and talk about them when they're happening, because like Maxine's trying to do the entire episode, it's important to have these conversations and to get it off your chest and talk about these things. I feel like we do a really good job of that, and so I totally trust Gerard. I trust all the writers and Danielle, our showrunner, that they will handle it well, and so I don't get too nervous because I just know that they are being very careful and respectful of the subject matter.
Yeah.
So near the end of the episode, because we gotta kind of move through real quick. Actually,
That's okay.
But I wanted to say that, you know, when the cop came, that's like an actual thing. Should we put our hands up? And that's actually unfortunate for Black people to have to have that thought process and to say, should I just show that, like, I am not resisting arrest? I just, you know, we come in peace. We're not planning on doing anything. But that is sad to watch.
It's hurtful. And,
it really is.
You know, absolutely. I've been, you know, their jobs are to protect and serve, and there are there are a lot of amazing cops out here who you know, honor the badge and they do what they have to do. But I can personally say that I've been absolutely terrified before in my own personal life around cops, and we have gotten to the point where we do need to put our hands up. We've gotten to the point where we have put our hands up and we've still been shot and killed. So absolutely.
And the person who does it still gets away with it. No Castillo. I'm sorry. I just can't. I read that. I was like, you're on camera. Like, complete camera. And yet you get to suffer for 2 weeks and then you get your job back.
And this is the climate in America. So yeah, it is necessary. It's uncomfortable. But it is, I think it's necessary.
That's why I love my job.
Yeah.
I love this show because yes, this is a very serious, sad subject, and it's very sad that we feel like we have to put our hands up in front of the police when they're coming into our home to ask us questions about something we've, you know, gone through.
And we're the victims.
And we're the victims. But that's what makes our show so smart and so, like, you can still laugh at that moment because you relate to it and you're like,
Absolutely.
yes, I would do that.
Yeah.
It's totally insane that we have to feel that way, but it's true.
Lord, I'm the Keisha.
It's true.
Right?
Everything.
And you can, for some reason, you can find the humor in these, like, really upsetting moments, and I feel like it's a kind of a breath of fresh air that we're allowing our audience to, like, have a genuine feeling about something and a real and be able to kind of laugh about it.
Right.
And I feel like it's healing.
Yeah,
Amber,
like
your character, and I'm sorry not to cut you. Your character is so amazing and relatable. I think that you bring a balance to the cast.
I agree.
You know, it's kind of like the come to Jesus moment. You all make us realize in all of our, you know, our heated moments and our mess, and you kind of just, you know, drive it home. And, you know, you bring a lot of points full circle, and I love your character. She's very, you know, Maxine is so relatable and funny, and you know, no, but seriously, you know, you bring that home for us because you know, your character has been raised in a different environment, and you know, we only see things our way. You know what I mean? And you know, you give us that different perspective, and it's relatable still.
Thank you. I'm really glad to hear that because I love playing this character. I love being, like, the voice of our generation for a lot of it, the very liberal point of view. But you know, I'm not speaking for everybody, so it's nice that there's also the balance of all the other characters and their points of view, because you know, we try to show everyone's perspective on a specific subject. I tend to, in my real life, relate to Maxine the most and her point of view. Right. I think she's right most of the time. But yeah, thank you for saying that. That's really nice to hear that that you respect that opinion is shown on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to touch a little bit on the lesbian wedding?
I was just about to say I like, you know, segueing it. Because lesbian wedding was such an important, just, I want to say arc for your character. Because like you seriously just want to prove, just because I you know, I'm gorgeous with my makeup and my hair done, that doesn't mean that's all I am. Even though and even without makeup, first of all, you're just gorgeous. We were all like, there's like, come on.
Thank you.
Like, but how was that for you, shooting that and like having to just be like, I lie just so like I can seem like I'm a normal person, I'm not just my looks?
It was interesting because someone else wrote that. I don't necessarily feel that way about myself, and I think most women don't feel that way. You know, like we all are our own worst critic. And when I was asked, will I do an episode of TV with no makeup on, of course, part of me is like, ugh, I don't want to do that, and no one wants to see that, and that's disgusting, and I've got all these zits, and I don't want to look like... But then I need to trust that other people see me differently than I see myself, and just trust that I'm in good hands, and that they have a story to tell, and I'm just here to play the part and be this character. And so I trusted them, and I just went for it, and I fully just wiped all that off with a Neutrogena wipe and went out there with my gray skin and did that.
You looked great.
You looked amazing.
I'm not looking for compliments. That's just what it was. But I was really glad and proud of myself for just going out there and just doing it and trusting them, because I think the episode turned out pretty well. Yeah. But for me, the episode was more about how women are treated in society. You know, we're like sexual objects, and we're only really judged on our looks, and then way later we're judged on our brains and stuff, and it's so unfair. And like literally as I walked here to the studio tonight, someone whistled at me while I was walking in. I was like, that's perfect. Perfect. That's what we deal with, though. Every day.
Every day. The catcalling.
We forget because we're so used to it. You know, you just go, you know, you're a jerk, but whatever. But like, that's disgusting that we have to put up with that. And I was so glad that we kind of talked a little bit about that within the whole episode of beauty and like, you know, a gay wedding and all that stuff. Because I feel like we need to talk more about what women have to deal with on a regular basis, just in society in general.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. But hopefully she can stay a little bit longer. We'll do a Facebook Live for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Hey. So once again, ladies, you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. This is Mariel Turner. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mariel_Turner.
I am Shannon Clark on all things social media.
Again, I am Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Love Shea Butter on Snapchat.
Hey.
Okay.
And where can they find you?
And I'm Amber Stevens West, and I'm on Twitter.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
The Carmichael Show is everything. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Call me
you guys so
5
much.
stars on iTunes. We would appreciate it.
And Laurel, holla at us, Laurel.
Laurel.
I'll call him.
Yeah, tell them to come on.
Tiffany.
I'll call Tiffany too.
Loretta.
Everybody, you
David
got the whole
Allen
cast.
I'm working on David. Just so we know, I'm working on that one real quick.
Detroit, we can talk about that.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.